Most classrooms at Blue Ridge have something that looks like this, a smart TV. It might be 70 or larger in terms of inches, but it's a great way to present content with your students. So I'm going to show you a couple tricks today on how to use the pen tools that are located next to the home button on the bottom tray of the smart TV. We're going to start by going over and using the whiteboard. So we're going to click on the whiteboard icon. Once we pull up our whiteboard, we have some options, and one thing you're going to notice right away is at the bottom of the screen there is a dashboard of tools. Now you can drag this dashboard to different places on the screen. So if you don't like it at the bottom, you can put it somewhere else. We'll go ahead and leave it at the bottom and we'll start playing with the pen tool. The pen tool is located just to the left of the upload button, and when we click on it we get a number of items that we can choose from. Now, you're noticing right now I'm not using the pen. I can select these items with my hand, or I could select them with the pen. But as I go through and select, I'm going to be changing colors, pen sizes, etc. So we'll just start with the regular pen feature, and I'm going to write with the pen. So I'll go ahead and click on the pen feature, and I'm going to click on the color I want, and I'm also going to click on the thickness. So once I do that, I can start using the whiteboard to write content for my students. This is a great way to present content with your students so that they can clearly see the material and so that you can move in real time. You can use your screen, you can make your screen move around. So like once you get this written, you can continue writing and you can continue to move the whiteboard as you present content. So we've started writing notes, but now we've decided we maybe have messy handwriting and we want to change it to text, make it a little bit more presentable for our students. We've got an option down here in the dashboard. It's a selection box. We can select this handwritten text by using the selection box. And once we've done that, we get a little drop-down arrow in the top right-hand corner. By clicking that, you have an option now to convert that to text. If we click that, we'll see that it changes our handwritten writing to readable text that everybody in the classroom can read. Another way that we could present this content is by starting with that ink to text option. So to do that, we're going to go down to the pen icon before we write anything, and we're going to change to a different pen. This pen has a large letter A and a small letter A on it. When we click on that pen, that is a special ink to text pen, and anything we write on the board from here forward is going to convert to text. So we'll begin with review. Let's see how well it converts. And then we can move on. As you can see, this ink to text feature really enhances anything that we write up on the board and makes it much more readable for our students. As you're writing on your smart TV, you may want to move the screen so that you can make room for more content, or you may want to make things larger or smaller. You can do that with the use of your hand. So first of all, to enlarge something, you can use your hand and put your hands on either side of the item that you want to make larger, and then you can just slowly drag. You can do that both ways to make something larger or smaller. You'll also notice a grid comes up, which indicates that things are maybe a little bit more mobile here than you might have thought. You can take your whole hand and just using your fingertips, you can move the entire screen to make room for more content. So that makes it really nice for you to be able to continue to create notes without having to start over. There are some additional features on the far right side of the dashboard that allow you to create extra pages and also allow you to navigate between pages if you want to continue with your notes for that session. Another thing you can do is move individual items once they're in text format. So you can click on something and you can move it around. Say we want to start class with lecture, we can move that. Or we can maybe put it at the end of class. So clicking onto an item, getting that selection box allows us to move that item anywhere on the screen. Say you've got an image that you want to pull up for your students and then annotate during class. You'll start by finding that image, and then once you do, you can bring it up on the screen for your students to view. As you talk with your students about the image, you can use the pen tool to annotate. You could start with handwritten text. Just like you would with a whiteboard. Or you could use that text or ink to text tool, and you could turn your handwritten text into something a little neater. Pretty neat. After you're done annotating your image, you can then save or share that item by clicking on the More dots in the dashboard and clicking the Share icon. This will give you the option to create a PDF, and then once that PDF is created, you'll be prompted to then send yourself an email where you can get access to that document. A lot of instructors like to use their Microsoft PowerPoint tools to provide presentations to their students during class. You can use that tool with the Smart TV, and you can even use annotation tools built into PowerPoint to create additional notes for your students on the slideshow. To start with that, you're going to be at your home screen, as you can see here, and you'll go to your Input button. It's going to look like a rectangle with an arrow moving to the right. You'll click your Input button, and then you'll select the HDMI connection. Now, it's important to note that this HDMI connection needs to be a hardwired connection from the computer that's in the classroom or from the podium in the classroom. If you use the HDMI connection on the front of the Smart TV, it will not allow you to use the pen features. It will present, but you won't be able to use the annotation pen features that are part of the Microsoft platform. So we've got our computer hardwired in, and you can see again by clicking the Input button that we've got our HDMI connection. Once we connect, we can see that our slideshow comes up. I've already got it up on my desktop computer. At the bottom on the left corner, you can see we have our Microsoft Ink tools. And this is what you're going to look for to make sure that you can annotate within Microsoft Ink. This will allow you to save that as an annotated PowerPoint. Right now, I've got my pen selected. I'm going to change my color, and I should be able to then write underneath my question here as students provide answers. So I can start putting in content, and you can see that the pen is going to add that content to the screen. This is a really nice feature to annotate a PowerPoint that you've already put together and to add those extra notes that you're taking with your students during class. One trick that some teachers like to use is to create a blank slide, maybe just a white background, and that would be like a substitute for a whiteboard right inside the PowerPoint. So here with the blank slide, we can also use those same ink tools to go over content with our students. And you can see that the pen tool allows us to present content in real time with our students in a way that they can see from their desks and in a way that we can then save after class as part of this PowerPoint. When we go back to our desktop computer, we'll be able to click Save with Annotations, and that will allow us to save this content that we've added during our class session.